Okay, looks like it's gonna work. This is good. I wasn't sure it would. So I'm gonna put this up on YouTube anyway. I'm like, oh, hello, thank you for watching. This is perfect. So I'm a usurp team. I just tried so it's board here. I'm not sure how well this will work. Ability. I think I need to plug my heads. Thankfully, I have plenty of cords to do that with. Somewhere. Are you a bee? Can't tell. Hello, thanks for watching. I'm going to be trying to stream the Labyrinth board game. Again, I'm not sure how well this is going to work. If you have any questions, I'll read the comments on the side of the screen. So I'm doing this with the PS4's Playroom because I couldn't figure out any other way of doing it and allowing the board to be in frame. Unfortunately, these figures are not painted yet. So I'll have to make sure I say the name I'm doing them. And also the Playroom moves things, so that's another flaw that's here. But I have everything set up. First off, I might as well show off the figures. So we do get a Jareth figure, the only character that no one plays. And this is a game that is a teamwork game if you're playing with multiple people, but you can play single player if you want to. I'm actually doing single player to try to learn more of the game. We have Hoggle. Of course, we have Sarah. There's Sir Didymus. Riding on Ambrosius. And there is Ludo. As you can see, these are very nice figures. So the way this works is Hoggle goes first, then Sir Didymus, then Ludo, then Sarah. Then the clock changes. Just 13 hours on the clock. When it goes from 1 back to 1, you've lost. But I guess it's easier to play than just explain, huh? And once again, if you have any questions to ask, I'll try to answer. So each character has their own movement, wit, and brawn dice. Hoggle moves first. His movement is a d6. So I'm going to roll that. It's a 6. So I can move in 6 spaces in any direction. If I move there, that'll be the oubliette. I don't want to do that. So he's going to move towards the Stench Swamp. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. So he's right next to Sir Didymus. Next we draw a maze card. Goblin Guards. And they have scenes from the movie on the cards. Except for one card, which is the one that I've taken out. Officially, it's supposed to be random which one's taken out, but for single player, there's one card that needs to be taken out, because otherwise you're going to win that challenge no matter what. So, test brawn versus 1 green die and 1 yellow die. Success is discard this card. Fail is lose 1 wit point, which I forgot to set up. Hoggle starts with 3. Sir Didymus 4. Ludo 4. And Sarah 5. And let's go on to the spaces. There's some cards that will not move no matter what you do. So it's a Brawn versus 1 green and 1 yellow. So that's a D6 and a D8. And you have to try to match or beat the highest number. In this case, it's the 6 on the D8. Hoggle's Brawn is a D8. So if you get a 6, 7, or 8, he challenge. Got a 4. I'll pass the challenge. So it's lose 1 wit point. And the card stays there. So next is Sir Didymus' turn. I forgot to mention, the turn marker is Baby Toby. Sir Didymus moves with a D12 or lower. You can always move less than the standard die roll. It's a 3. So we're going to have him move toward Ludo. It's the helping hands. The player whose go it is chooses odds or evens. Odds being up and evens being down, then rolls the d20, which is the blue die, and if you roll what you chose, the card just stays on the space. Otherwise, you lose a wit point and go to the oubliette. Now, this actually could have an advantage if we were farther along, but we're not. So, I'm going to say evens. It's odds. So, wit point lost. He moves to the oubliette, which means he can't move next turn. He will get the wit point back, but he's lost a turn. And helping hands is one of those ones I mentioned where it always stays on the board. So now it's Ludo's turn. Ludo has the second lowest speed with D8. Two. We'll move toward a toggle. The 2 knockers. Oh, this is the worst possible one for Ludo. There are cards you can use to help, but I deliberately took them off for this. Test wit versus 1 purple die. Purple is a D10, and there's a 0 on it, but the 0 counts as a 10. It's a 9. Ludo cannot win. He can't beat it. So, loses 1 wit point. Then finally, it's Sarah's turn. Sarah can move with a D10 or lower. Able to move 10 spaces. Let's move towards Ludo. I did not realize fiddling on the helping hands. Well, let's try odds. It's odd, she's fine. But now it's the clock's turn. So, clock moves 1 hour forward. And the game will be over if it lands back on 1. Now, Hoggle is going to try to continue moving towards Sarah and Ludo. And skips right over them. Ah, here's an interesting one. Jareth appears, upping the stakes. And show the image there. Place Jareth on this space. Test wit versus 1 blue die. Success, discard this card, which in this game means put under the maze pile. It's done. You don't know certain card. Fail, discard the card and move the hand of the goblin clock 1 hour forward. Unfortunately, it's testing wit versus the D20. All the Jareth cards use the D20, and Jareth moves to this space. It's a 9, so there's a chance. Hoggle has the highest wit out of them. It's a 7. Of course it is. So the hour now moved to 3. Did say to discard the card, so we will do that. Again, in this case, discarding means putting on the bottom of the pile. Sir Didymus will get his wit back, but he can't move till next turn. Which means it's Ludo's turn, and I'm actually going to have Ludo move the D4 to try to get a 1. Got a 3. A Goblin Knight. Test Brawn versus 1 yellow die. Okay, this one's not too bad. Ludo has a decent chance of this because he has the highest Brawn. Alright, yellow die. It's a 1, so it doesn't matter anyway, because you can't fail on a 1. Out of curiosity, what would Ludo have gotten? Ludo would have gotten a 5. So that card goes to the bottom of the pile. And it's Sarah's turn. Like Ludo, I'm going to use the D4 and see how far she moves. A 1. I was hoping for more than a 1. In this case, I'm not moving to the blockers, so... Again, you can always move in either direction. And once again, if anyone has questions, please let me know. Alright, so we draw the card here. Door of the Four Guards. Test wit versus 1 black die. Ew. Alright, well, it's against black. It's a 12. Sarah's wit is a purple die. The highest she can get is a 10. So she loses a wit point. A willpower point. I keep calling wit points. They're not wit points, they're willpower points. And the clock moves to 4. Now it's back to Hoggle's turn. Let's try this. It's a 1. Alright. The Wiseman and his hat. This is a good card. Again, always have scenes from the movie on, except for 1 card. Keep this card on your character sheet. Discard this card to roll an extra blue die for a failed wit test. This is a very good card to have. And nothing else to do there, so Sir Didymus can actually move now. And we want him to roll the d12. It's a 12. Just passes her. Oof. And it's a Jareth Arise. Not good. Place Jareth on the space, test wit versus 1 blue die. Alright, well, it's a 19. Can't win it. So that part is, if Hoggle was on that space, there'd be a chance. Also, I forgot to move Jareth there. Fail is leave this card on the space. Characters on the space cannot rest or move, but must test wit on their next turn. So, until that card is beaten, Sir Didymus is stuck there. And it's Ludo's turn. A 6. That actually might... it's risky, but it does put him with Sir Didymus, and in the long run, it's better to have a party, so... Alright, so roll the blue die. 20. Okay, so now neither Sir Didymus or Ludo can move until that is beaten. Sarah's turn. Go on, move the user with move her with purple die. It is 4, which puts her with Hoggle. Goblins, test Brawn versus 1 green and 1 red. Success, discard this card. Fail, lose 1 willpower point. It's Brawn, so it's not too bad. And it's with the weakest die, so that's not too bad either. Alright, so I have to beat a match or beat a 6. That should not be too bad. And Hoggle rolled a 7. So that's fine, and we can discard this card. Alright, so we have to test wit against the blue die again. 8. So there's a chance. Sir Didymus's wit is a d10. That landed perfectly on the carpet in such a way that it did not do anything. I cannot possibly tell what that was. That's a 10. 0 counts as a 10 on the d10. They're very specific about that. Unfortunately, that also counts on the enemy's side as well. But that means that this card is discarded, and Ludo can move next turn. I keep forgetting to actually use this. I just realized I skipped Hoggle's turn by accident. I'll say that he was on a rest. Give him the willpower. I don't know how I managed to do that, because I moved Sarah to him, but I managed to skip his turn. Alright, so Ludo can actually move now. And you always move with the slowest character if you're moving in a party. And we're going to say they're moving in a party. In this case, Ludo is slower than Sir Didymus. 7. We'll move them this way. Fairy Lichen, this is a good one to have on the board because it stays on a space and it does nothing. So that's basically a safety space if you need one. Almost moved the hour, but I haven't done Sarah's turn yet. Alright. We're going to say that Sarah and Hoggle are moving it together, and we're going to try with the D4. Passes over. Alright. The fairies. So you test brawn versus one red die. So, let's see what the fairies roll. A 4. So we have Sarah's brawn and Hoggle's brawn, because you always do challenges together when you have the option. They rolled a 5 and a 6, so they pass no matter what. I believe that card stays on the space. The fairies are always there. Makes sense. It's a fairyland. They'll always be there. Clock moves ahead to 5. Hoggle's turn, who I accidentally skipped last time. Again, we're going to try to get to Sir Didymus and Ludo. Alright. Jareth appears, Prince of the Land of Stench. Place Jareth on the space, test wit versus one blue die. This one will discard either way, so I'll put it at the side there. Jareth moves here. Wit versus blue. It's a 12, so Hoggle has a chance. Sarah does not. That ended up being a 10, so that's a fail. Characters on this space are moved to the Bog of Eternal Stench, which was Ludo's starting position. Not Ludo, Sir Didymus' starting position. Now we have to roll to see if they can actually get out of the Land of Stench. And it's their movement die, and I'll do them in turn. Hoggle first. If they land above a 2, they're fine. 6, that's fine. And Sarah... 8, she's fine. So if you fail that, you would end up with a stench token. Again, this one was discarded no matter what, so that goes there. And it's Sir Didymus' turn. We want to try going back towards them now. So, a 4, because we're traveling with Ludo, we use the O die. It's the knockers. Test wit versus purple. Okay. A 9. They can't win. So they each lose 1 willpower. The reason they can't win is because the highest wit for Sir Didymus is 8, the highest for Ludo is 6. This is actually exactly what I want for Ludo. Now they are in the Bog of Eternal Stench, so we do have to roll their movement die. Ludo? Ludo barely passes with a 3. And Sir Didymus will almost certainly pass this. With a 6. Okay, so no stench tokens there. Now everyone is able to move together, which means the highest we can move is 6. because you always move the slowest character in your party. But it's generally a good idea to have them in a party because it'll make challenges easier unless you're against Jareth. A 1. I can live with that. It keeps changing. Discard this card, and if there are any other cards on the board, move the card that is on the nearest space to this space, then follow the instructions on that card. So we have to do the Door of the Four Guards again. And it's the little goblin changing the tile. Test Wit versus Black. That's a 7. So anyone but Ludo has a chance of this. Since this was Sarah's turn, we'll start with her. That's a 4, so it doesn't work for Sarah. So then we move on to Hoggle. And you need to remember that this is a 7. Hoggle rolled an 11, that means they passed. The card still stays on the space because it's actually part of the maze. And our number 6. So I can already tell I'm not winning this. Alright, right, Hoggle's turn. Can move 3. Well, we don't want to land on the helping hands, so the snares. Test Wit versus 1 green die. This is another one. If you fail, you have to stay there until it's beaten. Actually, it's Wit versus green, so it's not too bad. Six, okay. Hog's turn, so we start with the black die. It's a 3, so we move on to Sardidamus's Wit. That's a 3. We move on to Ludo, which uses the green die. That's a 3. We move on to Sarah's. I don't know why they're all getting 3. Which is a 9. They pass it. I think this card... That card stays on the space. Okay. So this is why it's worthwhile having a party. You saw that I failed 3 times there. But they always work together given an option. Cards will say when you're not allowed to do that. So Sardidamus's turn. 1. Okay. The Cleaners. Test Speed versus 1 yellow die. It's a 1, so they definitely pass. Cleaners... Discard, okay. If I failed, I'd have lost willpower, and that would have stayed there. But a 1 is always a pass. Move 2, okay. It just goes on and on. Sorry, I'm having a hard time getting this. It's just what I thought of doing recently, and it's kind of working. Test wit is 1 yellow die. That's a 1, but I don't think that was actually a roll, so we'll try that. 8, okay. So Ludo can't do it. Sarah might be able to. That's a 4. Hoggle, 11, so it's fine. I think this is a stay there space. Yes, this card stays on the space. Alright, back to the first turn. 4, okay. Hoggle, you're supposed to move with them. A goblin, test brawn versus 1 red die. Because it's a battle one, if I win, I discard that card. Red die. A 2. Sarah's will start with her brawn. A 6. And remember, we're on this space. Hawk hands move to 7. I should note, I've done this 5 times. I've only managed to win once. This is a very difficult game to actually win. I'm really dreading the peach. Alright, we'll move this way. Jareth appears. Alright, this will be a discard no matter what. Test wit versus 1 blue die. You are not allowed to test as a group. So only Hoggle can test wit here. Alright, what's the d20 say? 6, so there's a chance. Hoggle? I'm just glad it was Hoggle and not Ludo who got this. He still failed. Lose 1 lose 1 willpower and is moved to Hoggle's starting space. And this one gets discarded no matter what. So there are certain cards where you cannot do tests as a group, and most of you are allowed to do that. It's Didymus's turn. At this point, it's better just to move around the map than to try to get Hoggle back. So we'll use... I was about to use Sir Didymus, but we can't because it was there. And Sarah's still there, actually, so we wouldn't use that no matter what. A 4. Which will actually put us right next to Hoggle. Oh. Ambushed by Fireys. So, test brawn versus purple on this one. That's an 8. So, we'll see how that goes. It's Sir Didymus' turn, so we'll test his on first, which is actually a purple. He landed on a 10, so that's fine. The Fireys get discarded. Move on to Ludo's turn. Honestly, the hardest part of this is keeping track of the dice. An 8, okay. Yeah, that's a good place. Okay. Sleepy Goblin Guard. Choose to sneak past, test speed versus 1 green die, or face him, test brawn versus 1 yellow die. Go try the speed one. Just because that'll be easier thanks to Sir Didymus. A 6. So any of them could do that, so let's try Ludo first. A 6, he matched, so we're good there. And discard this card is a success roll. Okay, good. Sarah's turn. Once again, we roll yellow die because you can only move as fast as your slowest one. We don't want to go to the Bog of Stench, so we'll go towards the 2 knockers. Which may end up being a mistake. And I'm seeing there's a good amount of people watching. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. So Wit versus Purple. A 2, so there's a decent chance of winning. Sarah rolls this a 9, so okay, there's no problem there. And that card stays. We're up to the 8th hour. And it's Hoggle's turn. Two. Did I have that right? Yeah, okay, that does stay there. I couldn't quite remember. Another permanent one, the Fiery's Camp. Choose to avoid them. Test speed versus 1 purple die, or face them. Test brawn versus 1 purple die and 1 black. So we're going to test speed versus purple because there's a better chance of that one than trying to go against 2 different die. Actually, no. Oh no, it's purple and black, so yes, speed is the one we want to try for. 10, he cannot possibly pass that. What's the fail roll? Lose 1 willpower, no, lose 2 willpower and leaves this card on the spade. Alright, so we're back to the oubliette. So Hoggle does not get a turn next time. We're back to Sir Didymus, and again, we're traveling a party with Ludo, so 6. Okay, we'll end up landing on the fairies if we go this way. Which means we just have to do a brawn test against a red die. It's a 1, so they pass for sure. And Sir Didymus. I mean, and Ludo's turn now. It was just Sir Didymus' turn. I don't know why I said that. 4. Pass right over the oubliette. Jareth appears, piece of cake. Test wit versus 1 blue die. And the card will get discarded no matter what. Wit versus blue die. It's a 4. It's Ludo's turn, so we'll start with his. 2, so Ludo fails there. Sarah? Gets a 10, so we're good. So in this case, it's just discard this card. If you fail, you then have to do a speed test with the cleaners. If you fail that, you lose 2 willpower, which would have sent Ludo to the oubliette. Alright, let's see here. 2. Okay. We'll move this way. Ah, this is a good one. The worm. So this can be used to roll a blue die during a failed wit test. So we'll put that on Sarah's character card there. We're now on the 9th hour, though. Youch. Hoggle will get his willpower back, but he can't move. Sir Didymus? 4. Okay. We'll actually be moving back onto the space that Cher is currently on. Gloomy Scary Forest. Each character on the space tests wit versus 1 purple die. You cannot test as a group. Each character that fails loses a willpower and is moved to the Bog of Eternal Stench. Wit versus purple. Okay. And as this is a location card, it will always stay on the board. Alright. So, wit versus purple. It's a 2, which thankfully makes things a bit easier. Sir Didymus gets a 1, so he moves to the Bog of Eternal Stench. So we have to test his speed. He's a 9, he's safe there, he's not stinky. Ludo's wit now has to be tested. It's a 2, it's a match, he's safe. And then Sarah's has to be tested. It's a 6, she's safe. Alright, so now Ludo's turn. 2. And we'll move this way. False alarms, test wit versus 1 red die. Ludo should be able to pass this. Yep, he got a 6, so that's fine. That is a location one though, so it stays there. And Sarah's turn again. An 8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that'll work. 8 puts us here. And this is the card we want, the entrance to the Goblin City. Now something new happens. This card is always adjacent to this space right here. First things first, we have to set some things up. So first, Jareth moves back to his starting position. Then we have to set up Humongous here. Where are those cards? There they are. Goblin Tree here. cavalry is here, and the archer is here. And you will always move in the order of humongous, infantry, cavalry, archer. Because that was Sarah's turn. We're now on the 10th hour. So there's a chance of winning this, but it's extremely unlikely. Alright, it's Hoggle's turn. We need to try to get Hoggle up with the rest of them. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay. The Trash Lady. Test Wit versus 1 black die. It's a 1, that's a guaranteed pass. I believe the Trash Lady... No, Trash Lady is discarded, Trash Place stays. Right, characters discarded, places stay. Alright, Sir Didymus. A 4. It's really hoping you get more than a 4. Wit versus purple, because we're back to the knockers. It's a 6, so he has a chance. 5, nope. Okay. Lose 1 willpower. That's okay. For what we need here. Because Lord Humongous is there, Ludo can only move on to Lord Humongous' space. And now we test Brawn versus, I believe it's the blue die? Yes, it is. So Brawn versus D20. 12. Alright, well, if we can get a 12 with the black, we win. 1, nope, and lose 1 willpower, remain here, roll again, next go. Win together and fail together. Sarah, so we roll the D20 again. That is a 6, so Sarah actually has a chance here as well. So we'll roll Sarah's first. It's a match. Humongous is gone. But we're up to the 11th hour. I'm going to try to get Hoggle a 1 here. Nope. Oh wait, no. This is actually what we want, too. Okay. Yeah, that works out. Alright, so now they're all together. That makes things easier, hopefully. Sir Didymus. Five. Alright, so Sir Didymus has to go to the infantry. Because you're not allowed to just stop in between spaces. Infantry is 1 red, 1 green, and 1 yellow, a brawn test. Red, green, yellow. Whoops. So you have to match or beat a 7. It's a 5. I believe that is lose 1 willpower, yes. But that may not be too bad, because the rest of the group is now moving to that space. So red, yellow, green. This time the highest is 6, so that's what we have to try to beat. Ludo? A 1. Sarah? A 6. Alright. That's a win. So the infantry is now gone. Which means we move on to the cavalry. Actually might manage this. Brawn versus green, yellow, and purple. Beat or match a 6. Well, Ludo? A 4. Sarah? A 5. This could be bad. Hoggle? A 2. Sardidimus? A 2. Oh, not good at all. They each lose 1 willpower. Everyone but Sarah ends up in the oubliette. It's Sarah's turn, and this is extremely unlikely that she'll win this. Five. She has a chance. Nope. So she has 1 willpower left. The hour is 12. All of these guys missed their turn and get a willpower back, but at this point it's too late. Sarah has to try the brawn test again. So again, that's green, yellow, purple. A 5. She actually manages to beat them. That honestly surprises me. And the final turn. Actually, I need to check here. No, it's impossible to win. Even if she could beat the archer, can't be. The game cannot be won. Actually, no, I'm wrong. The game can't. There is a chance. There is one very, very small chance. All right, Hoggle. That's not helpful. The junkyard, test wit versus 1 purple die. I don't know what that is. A 1. Got lucky there. Alright. Of course it's a 1 again. Which means that now Yeah, now it actually is impossible to win. I have lost this game. Because the only way I could win is if I could get them up to the archer here, beat the archer, then Sarah would get to the maze and have one final test. But it's impossible. Because at this point, it would end with the best possible outcome is them landing here and Sarah being the archer. The clock moves back to 1. I've lost. But I am glad that this appears to have worked out. And I'm going to try doing more things like this in the future. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and have a great time wherever you may be. Bye, guys.